An ex-pilot once told me that if you really want to know what goes on in a crew's head, do not ask about the passengers they dread. Ask about the ones they quietly love. And near the top of that list, almost every time, are the senior passengers. Now, you might brace yourself for the worst here, expecting to hear that flight attendants secretly find older travelers slow or difficult or a hassle. However, the truth is very nearly the opposite of that. And the things crew actually think are warmer and far more helpful than you would ever guess. Though there are a few honest things they genuinely wish you knew before you fly. So here are 15 truths about what flight attendants really think about senior passengers. Number 15. The moment an older passenger boards looking a little anxious, the crew quietly decide to look after you. People assume flight attendants are too busy to notice one nervous traveler in a sea of faces. But they are trained observers, and they read the cabin constantly. When they see a senior step on board, moving carefully, gripping the seatbacks, or glancing around unsure of where to go, something kicks in. They make a silent note, and from that moment, you are on their radar in the best possible way. They will keep an eye on you through the flight, check that you are settled, and be ready before you even have to ask. You are not invisible back there. Far from it. The crew will tell you that a passenger who looks like they might need a little extra care is exactly the person they keep gently watching over. Not out of pity, but out of care. You walk on thinking you are just another number. To the crew, you are the one they have decided to take care of. Number 14. The honest truth is that crew often prefer their older passengers to almost everyone else. Ask flight attendants who their favorite travelers are, and a huge number of them will say the seniors, without hesitation. The reason is simple. Older passengers tend to be polite, patient, and genuinely grateful. And in a job that involves a lot of entitled demands and short tempers, that kindness stands out like sunshine. You say please and thank you. You do not snap your fingers or treat the crew like servants. You understand that a delay is not the flight attendant's fault. You bring a warmth and a graciousness that the crew remember long after the flight is over. They will tell you that a cabin full of considerate senior travelers is one of the easiest, most pleasant flights they can have. So if you have ever worried that you are too much trouble, understand that the manners your generation carries are the very thing that makes you the crew's favorite people on the plane. Number 13. They notice you trying to do everything yourself, and they quietly wish you would let them help. Here is a tension the crew feel often. They watch an older passenger struggling with a heavy bag, or easing painfully into a seat, or trying to manage on their own, and they can see that you do not want to be a bother, that your pride and your independence are telling you to handle it yourself. They understand that, and they respect it deeply. But they also wish, in that moment, that you would simply let them step in. Helping you is not an imposition. It is literally their job, and most of them find it one of the more meaningful parts of it. The crew will tell you that they would so much rather lift your bag than watch you strain your shoulder doing it alone. Your independence is admirable, and you do not have to surrender it to accept a hand. Letting the crew help you is not weakness. It is teamwork, and they are honored to be on your team. Number 12. They wish you would tell them early, because the secret weapon for older travelers is pre-boarding. This is one of the most useful things a senior flyer can know, and the crew wish more people used it. Almost every airline offers pre-boarding, an early boarding window before the crowds, specifically for passengers who need a little extra time or assistance, and that includes older travelers. You do not need a wheelchair to use it. If you would simply benefit from boarding calmly, finding your seat without a line of impatient people behind you, and getting settled before the rush, you can ask for it at the gate. The crew love this because it lets them help you properly, without the pressure of 100 people pushing past. So get to the gate in good time, let the gate agent know you would appreciate boarding early, and step on while the cabin is still quiet. Telling them what you need ahead of time is not a burden on them. It is the thing that lets them give you the smooth, dignified boarding you deserve. Number 11. They want you to request wheelchair or airport assistance without a shred of embarrassment. Because it is free. It is smart, and they respect it. Airports are enormous, and the walk from check-in to a distant gate can be a real strain, especially with a connection and a tight schedule. Many older travelers struggle through it on aching legs, because they feel embarrassed to ask for help, or they think a wheelchair is only for people who cannot walk at all. The crew want to correct that completely. Wheelchair and mobility assistance at the airport is a free service you can request when you book or at the airport, and it is used by countless smart travelers who simply do not want to exhaust themselves before a long flight. There is nothing to be ashamed of, and the staff who provide it do so with respect. The crew see passengers arrive fresh and unhurried because they accepted that help, and they think it is one of the wisest things an older flyer can do. Save your energy for your trip, not for a marathon through the terminal. Number 10. They quietly worry about your medications, and they really want you to keep them in your carry-on, never in a checked bag. This is one where the crew's concern is very practical and very real. Checked bags can be delayed, lost, or simply out of reach for the whole journey. And for an older traveler who depends on daily medication, being separated from it is a genuine danger. Flight attendants have seen the distress of a passenger whose essential pills are sitting in a suitcase somewhere in the belly of the plane, or worse, in another city. So here is what they want you to do. Keep every medication you need in the bag that stays with you in the cabin, along with a small note or list of what you take and your key medical information. If you ever feel unwell, that list helps the crew help you fast. The crew think about this more than you would imagine, and the simple act of keeping your medicines at your side turns one of their biggest worries about senior passengers into a non-issue. Number 9. They watch your well-being far more closely than you realize. You might think that once the seatbelt sign goes off, the crew are just serving drinks and counting the minutes. In reality, they are quietly monitoring the cabin the entire flight, and they pay special attention to their older passengers. They are trained to spot the early signs of trouble, the flush of dehydration, the confusion that can come from low blood sugar or the dry cabin air, the passenger who has gone too quiet or looks unwell. When they top up your water more than you asked for, or check in on you for what seems like no reason, that is not random. That is care in action. The crew will tell you that keeping an eye on the well-being of their senior travelers is something they take seriously and personally. So drink the water they offer, and know that the gentle attention you are receiving is a trained professional looking out for you. You are being watched over, in the kindest sense of the phrase. Number 8. They do not want you to be the least bit embarrassed about your hearing or your eyesight, and they are happy to repeat anything. Cabins are loud. Announcements crackle through old speakers over the roar of the engines, and the print on a boarding pass or a menu is small. Plenty of older passengers miss what was said or struggle to read the details, and then feel awkward about asking, so they nod along and hope they understood. The crew wish you would just ask. They will gladly repeat an announcement, tell you what gate your connection is, read you the menu, or explain anything you did not catch, and they will not think a single negative thought about it. They would far rather you understand clearly than sit there uncertain and miss something important. The crew will tell you that helping a passenger hear or see what they need is the easiest, most natural part of their day. Never be embarrassed to say, "I did not quite catch that. Could you say it again?" To them, that is not a bother. It is simply how they help. If this is warming your heart a little, take a second to subscribe, because the next 7 truths are the ones the crew feel most deeply, and the number one thing they want every senior passenger to know might just bring a tear to your eye. Let's keep going. Number 7. They genuinely worry about you lifting your bag into the overhead bin, and they are quietly pleading with you to let them do it. The overhead bins are high, the bags are heavy, and reaching up to hoist a suitcase over your head is exactly the kind of movement that can wrench a shoulder, tweak a back, or throw you off balance, especially as we get older. The crew see this coming a mile away, and it makes them nervous because they have watched passengers injure themselves in that one awkward lift. They would so much rather step in and do it for you. Now, officially, crew are sometimes limited in how much they can lift for safety reasons, but they will almost always help you, find a fellow passenger to assist, or stow your bag somewhere easier to reach. So please, do not muscle that bag up there on your own to avoid being a bother. Ask. The crew think of a passenger asking for help with a bag not as a weakness, but as someone being smart enough to avoid getting hurt. And keeping you safe is the whole point of their job. Number 6. They wish you would get up and move for your circulation, and at the very same time, they worry about you walking during turbulence. So let them help you find the balance. This is a real tension in the crew's minds. On one hand, they know that sitting still for a long flight raises the risk of blood clots, and that risk is higher for older travelers. So they genuinely want you to stand, stretch, and walk the aisle now and then to keep your blood moving. On the other hand, they worry about an older passenger losing their balance in the aisle if the plane hits sudden turbulence, because a fall can be serious. The way to honor both is simple. Move when it is calm and the seatbelt sign is off. Do your walking and stretching then. And when you do get up, do not be shy about steadying yourself on the seatbacks or asking a crew member to walk with you to the lavatory if you feel unsteady. The crew would be glad to. They want you moving for your health and safe on your feet, and they are right there to help you do both. Number 5. When a family hands you off to the crew at the gate, the flight attendants take becoming your family for the flight seriously. There is a moment the crew see often and never take lightly. An adult son or daughter walks their elderly parent to the gate, speaks quietly to the staff, asks them to keep an eye on mom or dad, and then has to say goodbye and walk away, trusting strangers with someone they love. The crew feel the weight of that trust. For the next few hours, you are in their care, and they do not treat it as a formality. They become, in a real sense, your family for the journey, checking on you, making sure you make your connection, walking you to the next set of helping hands if you need it. The crew will tell you that being trusted to look after someone's parent or grandparent is one of the responsibilities they hold most dearly. So if you are flying alone and your family worried about you, know that the people in those uniforms have quietly adopted you for the day, and they will see you safely through. Number 4. They hold a genuine, often unspoken admiration for your generation. Flight attendants meet thousands of people, and they notice things. And one of the things they notice is the quiet dignity that so many older travelers carry. They see the veterans, the ones who served, and feel a real respect. They see passengers who remember when flying was a formal, special occasion, who still dress with care and treat the journey as something to be valued. They hear the stories of long lives, of careers and families and history lived through, and they are moved by them. The crew will tell you that some of the most memorable passengers of their entire careers were older travelers whose grace and whose stories stayed with them long after the flight landed. You may feel that the world rushes past you these days, that your era is forgotten. The crew do not forget it. In the cabin, your generation is seen, respected, and quietly admired, even when no one says it out loud. Number 3. They are trained medical responders, far calmer and more capable than you would ever guess, and they want you to tell them the instant you feel unwell. Many older passengers carry a quiet fear of having a medical problem in the air, far from a hospital, and that fear sometimes makes them hide it, not wanting to cause a fuss or be a burden. The crew want to dismantle that fear completely. Flight attendants are trained in first aid, in handling medical emergencies, in using the medical equipment on board, and they have access to ground-based doctors they can consult by radio in real time. They are remarkably calm in these moments because they have prepared for them. What they cannot do is help a problem they do not know about. So if you feel dizzy, short of breath, chest tight, or simply not right, press the call button and tell them immediately, the moment it starts, not after you have suffered through it for an hour. The crew will tell you that they would 1,000 times rather you spoke up early over something small than stayed silent out of politeness over something serious. Never tough it out. Telling them is the bravest and smartest thing you can do. Number 2. The call button above your head is there for you, and the crew would genuinely rather you press it 10 times than struggle once. So many older passengers see that call button as something they should not use, a thing for emergencies only, or a way of being demanding. The crew see it completely differently. That button is your direct line to help, and using it is exactly what it is for. Need a glass of water, a blanket, help reaching something, a question answered, or just reassurance during a bumpy patch. Press it. The crew will tell you, sincerely, that they would far rather come to your seat a dozen times for small things than discover later that you sat there needing something and said nothing because you did not want to bother them. You are not a nuisance for using the tool designed to bring you help. Every time you press that button, you are doing exactly what the crew hope you will do, which is let them take care of you. Use it freely and never feel guilty for a second. Number 1. The single most important truth, the one the crew want every senior passenger to carry in their heart, is this: you are never, ever a burden. Looking after you is the best part of the job. Everything on this list comes back to this one thing. So many older travelers fly with a quiet worry that they are slowing everyone down, taking up too much of the crew's time, being too much trouble, and the crew would give anything to erase that worry forever. The truth they share again and again is that caring for their senior passengers is not a chore they tolerate. It is the part of the work that reminds them why they wanted this job in the first place. The patience you show, the gratitude you offer, the stories you carry, and the simple chance to help someone who has lived a full life and now just wants to get safely to their family. All of it is a gift to the people in those uniforms, not a burden on them. So the next time you board a plane, let go of that fear completely. Ask for what you need, accept the help, press the button, and travel with your head high. The crew are not enduring you. They are honored to take care of you. And to them, you are the very best part of the flight. So if you are an older traveler or you love one, remember what the crew really think, because it is not what you feared. It is warmth, respect, and a genuine wish to look after you. Tell them what you need, use every bit of help on offer, and never once believe you are in the way. If this touched you, subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear it before their next flight. Safe travels, and know that up there, you are in caring hands.